Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are back for another Talk Nerdy, and quite a bit of news to go over. D23 happened, so there's some basic news to come out of that event, to include Snow White, the adaptation, basically is coming out next year. Yeah, so we're going to show a little clip from that. I was just watching that clip and I was like, so let me get this straight. 7 little people lost out on the opportunity to play the 7 dwarves because Disney bowed to Peter Dinklage's temper tantrum, and this is what we get.
Yes, CGI dwarves. To be fair, I think like one little person. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Okay.
24. Okay, this one. Martin Kleba plays Grumpy. Now he plays just the voice of Grumpy, but he plays Grumpy.
Yeah. But still, like, he could have actually physically possibly played
Yes, of
Grumpy.
course.
Yes.
He could have
like all it would have
physically
taken would be like prosthetics, things like that, to kind of make them look more of the fairy tale dwarf characters. But like I said, like 7 little people lost out on jobs because Peter Dinklage not only had a little temper tantrum about the possible casting of little people, but basically went full retard on the actual concept of Snow White when talking about the dwarves, like thinking they lived in the caves and shit like that. I'm like, no, they have a house. She cleans for them. I'm like, where like, did you not watch the Disney cartoon at least? But anyway. So stuff like that. Oh, did you also see? I don't want to show this because I don't know if this will get my channel hit. But apparently, there's also a live-action adaptation of Atlantis. Possibly.
No.
That footage leaked. Like a teaser kind of leaked, and I saw it on X. I don't know if I want to show it.
Let me look at it.
Yeah, look it up. I don't know if I want to show it because it might get like a strike on my channel if it triggers anything. But I saw that and I was like, I'm really on the fence about, especially with current day Disney. But yeah, we have, and then the live action Lilo and Stitch movie happening. They kind of did a teaser for that from D23. But we also, and I'll say hello to the chat in a little bit. We also have, Deadpool and Wolverine dominating the box office yet again. Like if it hasn't done so, it is primed to hit $1 billion gross. This weekend, or at least over this weekend, but it's upset a certain crowd of people pretty much. Not for the objective reasons that most people would have, sane people would have, but you have out decrying the homophobic jokes in Deadpool and Wolverine, and then you actually had people demanding their money back because of what they considered blasphemy in the film. I'm not going to go full on into any religious topic, pretty much, but you had people walking out 30 minutes into the film demanding a refund because of one element in the film. You have the gender-swapped penguin from the Caped Crusader series, and you have what Minnie Driver said about why she's kind of defending the gender-swapped penguin, as well as Bruce Timm also coming out and saying why they gender-swapped Oswald Cobblepot. Borderlands bombed at the box office.
Borderlands.
Borderline.
You said borderline.
Borderlands.
Borderline. By the way, chat, I'm gonna snitch on Mara.
Yeah,
I'm snitching.
Go ahead.
Mara gave me some very, very bad advice before the stream started.
Extremely bad advice. So if you see anything on the news about what a certain woman does for science,
yeah,
just keep in mind that I'll be
encouraging me to commit crimes.
Oh, it's like, yeah, she's snitching. I gave her a little tip because I took a certain course. I took a certain course in college and she knows, and she has a penchant for true crime as I do. So it's just like, I kidding, you know what to do? And I like just told her that, and she's like taking notes. Oh, interesting.
Snitching.
Interesting.
That way, if anything happens to me, you guys will come, right? You'll be
Yes.
like,
No,
If you jail one, you gotta jail the other.
It's like that really, like he would all like send me. It's like you're my best friend. If I'm dying, you're dying.
You're dying with me.
Pretty much. Anyway, and then we'll go quickly on like what Jenna Ortega said about political correctness in Hollywood. So it's before you get all excited, like, oh yeah, she's speaking out against Hollywood. There's a little bit of a liberal bent to it, but for the most part, she's pointing out that she thinks Hollywood is like leaning too far into the political correctness when it comes to storylines, characters, and things like that. So
my nose is itchy.
But anyway, from the top, I see super chat from your barmy. Thank you so much. Gaming or what? Good to see you. Trey is ready for the cringe, and he saw Borderlands. So I'm sorry, Trey.
I did not watch Borderlands.
I
did not go and see Borderlands. The only thing I saw about Borderlands was Disper's review. That's it.
I kind of saw Disper's review, and I think it was like speaking to Trey. Like I had no intention of seeing the movie. I could tell from the trailer that it looked like shit, and even without even not playing the games, I'm not coming from the perspective on how video game accurate the movie was. I just looked at this going, that just screams like forced humor and everything, especially with the casting of Kevin Hart. Every time he's cast in something nowadays, it's like always jokes about his height. I'm like, yes, we get it. He's short. Yes, we get it.
I have no water.
So, Juice Cannon, hello. Gravy D, thank you for the super sticker. It is a lemon with heart eyes. Thank you so much. That I looked earlier.
Heart eyes.
This is my Discord. I every so often I do watch parties on my Discord. Last one I did, excluding the wrestling live events, I showed the movie Office Space because I figured it's some some weeks just to get away from the cringe, show actually good movies, entertaining movies in my opinion. So that's what I'll do on my Discord. So this is it right here.
I'll be right back.
Hello? Yeah, I'm just gonna continue saying hello.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be right back. I took some allergy medicine. Now I have to take my allergy notice medicine. I'm sick. I'm not sick. I'm just sickly. All right.
So, hello, Psychotic Mongoose, Gravy D, yes, D23. D23. Steve Kenobi, my DM, because we played D&D this afternoon, watching Hornblower. That is libel, because it's written out, so it's not slander. Slander is spoken, libel is written, so that is libel. Stig, you killed my childhood. Yes, he killed my childhood, and he's primed to do it again, pretty much. Yeah, but see you, Stig. Hope you have fun watching Hornblower. Hopefully that's the actual Hornblower movie and not some weird porn movie you found.
Stig doesn't watch porn. He's way too sophisticated.
That weirdo comes up with the most interesting porn titles. When it comes to that's how he kind of ruined some things for me.
He's too sophisticated.
You really need to play D&D with us. You would be singing a different tune if you were playing D&D with us. I told him I'm donating his brain to aliens.
Well, I see the stuff that he sends in the humor group chat.
Yeah.
I'm like, Stig!
Yes.
I don't comment, but I look at him. Stig!
That is that reaction. Soul Assassin, what is up? Daniel Stewart, hello. Sorry. And I did see your comment about sorry. I don't mean to torture anybody. It's just that some nowadays pop culture and cringe go hand in hand. So Keely Chow, what is up? What is up? Tiny Metal Trees, good to see you. Sorry, jumped on me, so I gotta scroll back up.
I have that song in my head now. Oh, by the way, so I looked up Atlantis stuff on X, but all I'm seeing is that it's fake. It's not real.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't want to show it, just in case it was real. But I was like, I figured if Disney was doing it, then like we would see some type of announcement, not just leaked footage. But hello, Jaluk. Good to see you. Jimmy the Cast. What's up? What's up? No, I think they kept the 7 hobos because Snow White is supposed to align herself with them, but they're kind of like outlaws or whatever.
Yeah, so that's what I originally thought. Remember, like when we were talking about this when that photo originally popped up, I didn't think that those were the 7 dwarfs. Those are supposed to be like rebels that the prince has or something. Did you see the prince, by the way? He looks
No, I have not seen the prince.
Oh, pulling it up. Looks
JRO Studios. They could have done what Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit did. I can't remember what we were talking about for this comment, but I love the Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit should have been at most 2 movies. So yeah, Max, hello. Just comes in and says hello. So nice to have your comment.
Hello, Maxfield.
Yeah. Yeah, I only made 16 million total, and 8.8 of that was domestic.
Look at what this person says. To everyone who bashed Snow White left and right because there's not gonna be dwarfs. There's not gonna be there's not a poison apple. She doesn't fall in love with the prince. Y'all look pretty stupid now, huh? Bitch, is the movie out yet? No. Rachel Zegler legit said she's not falling in love with the prince.
And the comment below that is like, well, that guy isn't a prince, he's a bandit.
Yeah, he's not a prince, he's a bandit.
Yeah.
She's not going to be saved by a prince.
Yeah.
He's a bandit. He's the leader of bandits.
And he's clearly the love interest, which was my entire point. No, your entire point was she doesn't fall in love with the prince as basically as a rebuttal against people criticizing it. You literally just said she doesn't fall in love with the prince. Look, here it is, right here. Here's a picture. She does fall in love with the prince. No, that's not a
Rachel Zegler said that she's not going to be saved by a prince. Not that she's not going to fall in love with a prince. I mean, even though that's what it implies, right? She's not going to be saved by any prince. But she's not going to be saved by a prince, and she's going to become the leader that she's always meant to be. Yeah. So Snow White is a girl boss. She's going to be leading these bandits or whatever to defeat the evil queen. Yes, of course there's going to be a stupid apple.
Yeah.
There's not going to be dwarves. You know what? This movie's taken so long to come out. I wonder if they saw the backlash. Maybe those dudes were the dwarves and not bandits, and they saw the backlash and they're like, okay, we got to put in dwarves.
Yeah, part of me would hazard to say yes. And I've said this before that the only objectively, this movie is it's not bad, but it's not necessarily great either. But the only time I've ever seen an adaptation of Snow White where I'm fine with the dwarves not being dwarves was Snow White, A Tale of Terror, because it was a reimagining of the fairy tale and not an actual live adaptation of the fairy tale. So the 7 dwarves are basically actually 7 outlaws, pretty much.
She looks like Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, she does. I saw memes of that going around. Basically.
Yeah, she looks like Lord Farquaad. Look at that profile, dude. That is so how nasty. That is so embarrassing.
I know, and I know
it looks so bad.
I know Snow White's hair was short, but dear God.
He huffed and he puffed and he signed an eviction notice.
Yes.
I don't like the prince either. Okay, he's not the prince or whatever, leader of the bandits.
Basically.
Yeah, leader of the whatever. The love interest, right?
Yeah.
The person that she sings with. He needs darker hair. Look at him. He looks like any person you pass on the street. he's supposed to be, if he's not the prince, okay? He's the stand-in for the prince. So he still needs to have those prince features.
This is not a live adaptation. An actual live action adaptation, because an adaptation would be and by definition, all right, taking from one medium and putting it into another medium with maybe some liberties, basically, because from one to another, you don't want to risk plagiarism. All right, maybe with some liberties. These are overt. liberties. There were no outlaws in the fairy tale, pretty much. There was a prince. The queen was jealous of Snow White's looks. She did like nothing at all to do with Snow White's ability to lead her people. Snow White, by the way, is like 16 fucking years old, pretty much. She's young. No, actually, no, I think she's younger. She's like 15. She's young. She's not at all an adult in the original fairy tale. But she was beautiful, and the queen was jealous of that, which is why the queen tried to kill Snow White. But God fucking forbid there be vanity when it comes to looks with the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Look
Okay,
at this
Jara,
hand.
she's 14 years
This
old.
hand just looks like
child.
any old woman's hand. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
The hand of the witch when she gives her the apple is like long fingers. It looks gross and super like
those
creepy.
are nice
Those
nails.
Hands.
Those are gross.
Those are just hands.
Yeah.
The dwarves look awful. What did they do to my boy Dopey? Dude.
I don't know.
Poor boy. My poor Dopey. I love my Dopey.
So let's put his name. It's meh. I mean, like, I'm saying, like, not saying it's real, but yeah, I dual stream both on Kick and Twitch. So Mr. Bentham, what is up? I haven't gone that far. So, destroy what for you? I don't know. I can't remember what we were talking about. I'm finally catching up on the chats. I have no idea what I'm going to destroy for you. Borderlands should have been an animated film. I agree with that. Kate Blanchett, as good of an actress as she is, she's too old to play Lilith.
This will forever be my evil queen. Okay. My live action evil queen from Once Upon a Time. Look at that. She's gorgeous and beautiful. I love her. She is my evil queen. This is my true live action evil queen, Lana Parrilla.
Conroy, what is up?
She's gorgeous. She is gorgeous.
That's actually so
yeah.
Oh my god.
Once Upon a Time did it better.
Stop clutching your pearls. Let's see, making sure I don't miss anyone. Chris Mack, hello. What is up?
Not that CW show. It wasn't on CW. I think it was on ABC.
So there wasn't Dwarves in the Real World on Once Upon a Time. Let's see. Well, I'm saying, like she's young, basically. Like, and I think even in the original fairy tale, she's young because it was written at like a time when women were married young because the longevity, human longevity, was not as long as it is today, pretty much, because you didn't have any good basic health standards, hygiene, things like that. So people were dying in their 30s and 40s from things that we have, today, medicinal wise, immunity wise, for the flu and the cold and things like that. People were dying from that. So it would not have been uncommon for Snow White to have been like 14, 15 years old, even in the original fairy tale, because of that. But she was young. So yeah. If you're talking about Jenna Ortega, I'm not trying to say don't when I say don't exactly get too excited yet, because there is a little bit of a liberal leaning to it, or but at the same time it's like she is calling out what Hollywood is doing, but her specific focus is basically on Mexican Americans. So she is right to an extent. There is a little bit where I'm but. So, Epic Mike just comes in and says, "Ladies, hello, Epic Mike. Good to see you." Yes, I remember this mission, Stieg. I do remember it very much indeed. It is basically just ingrained in my fucking mind. it's talking about the evil lady. Okay, so.
Oh my
But anyway,
God.
so I'm just catching up on the chat. But anyway, all right. So, do you want to talk about like real fast D23 stuff? Like show that clip because I don't have any articles about it.
Which clip? Both of them? All of both of them.
Oh.
I don't know if they're gonna get hit though.
I'll risk it.
Okay.
I'll
You can't be complaining on Twitter though, because you're the one that's like, I'll risk it.
Well, this time I'll risk it. It's not like you sending me a clip, I play it, and I get the notice.
All right.
I'll risk it this time because
every time I do it, I see Mara after the stream. You motherfucker, you two bitches.
Well, because you know what gets me is half the time it's like playing stuff that does not break any copyright laws. So I'm like, ugh.
All right, this is the first clip. Hold on. This is the first clip.
So
this stuff was probably shown at D23. That's where I'm assuming it was. But all she's doing is singing, Look at Dopey, dude.
Again, could have been an actual little person with maybe some prosthetics to make him look like the Dopey character because they are, adapting their own version of the fairy tale. But I'm like, come on,
Dopey.
Why you do Dopey like that? Why you do Happy and Sleepy and Grumpy and Doc and Bashful?
It looks so creepy. Like I don't.
It looks like a kid. It looks like a kid with. He looks so young. They're not supposed to be young. I know Dopey is technically the youngest.
Yeah.
But come on, that looks like a kid.
It looks bad. Here's the thing with them doing CGI dwarves, right? Peter Dinklage and his outrage of typecasting little people, whatever the fuck he said about it. Little people, especially little people in Hollywood, they are very much aware of their limitations, right? And the parts that they can get cast for. Mm-hmm. And I've read so many articles and seen a lot of interviews with little people saying that like there are certain roles in Hollywood that are a little person actor's dream roles. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, being one of the Seven Dwarfs, is one of them. Being a part of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, one of the Oompa Loompas, that's another one. The Wizard of Oz, if they hire for Munchkinland, that is another dream role. Those are like dream roles for dwarves in Hollywood, right? For little people in Hollywood. Those are dream roles. And so there's a lot of outrage from that community saying like, how could Peter Dinklage say this? He's like one of the most popular little person actors in Hollywood, and they're thinking like he just wants to bogart all of the roles for himself. He doesn't want any other actor to get hired, just him. He wants to be like the main dwarf actor to get hired in Hollywood. The fact that he would speak out against hiring dwarves is what really pissed them off, because if anything they should be asked to be in more roles, right?
Especially since I think he played a character in Game of Thrones that actually was not a little person, but he was cast anyway for that role, and no one, because his performance was, I guess, well received, like no one cared. So I'm like, you're fine with that, basically, but you're not fine with actual little people getting roles like the Munchkins, the dwarves, what have you, basically.
I think that Peter Dinklage because he got so popular in Hollywood with Game of Thrones, right? He became one of the most popular actors in Game of Thrones. It like catapulted him up there. I think that once you get to reach a certain level in Hollywood, you start really buying into your own bullshit, and then you start spewing like all of the crap woke nonsense that exists in Hollywood, and that's what he was doing. Whether he like meant to do it or not, right? He was just like, what's a cause that I can get behind? Oh, well, I'm a little person, so let me just speak out about that, right? So I can like seem woke and progressive. Let me just speak out about that. But he didn't realize that he was doing a lot of harm to little people actors in his industry. He's just like, I need something, I need a platform. I need to say something, right? So he just spoke out about that, and he sounded like an idiot, and he ended up doing a lot of damage
Yes.
And this is the result of that.
And it's like, well, exactly. That's what like Steph said. Disprove, yeah. Like, want to make sure that other dwarves couldn't get a big break.
Yeah. So he's the only little person that can get hired. But and this is the result of that. Like, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. By trying to not insult, you just end up pissing everybody off.
Yes.
This looks awful. It looks so stupid. Look at the way he's following her.
It is.
Dopey's my favorite dwarf, okay? Dopey is my favorite dwarf. My poor boy.
Did he like float there, or do like a slide on his knees? I was like,
did he just glide?
I'm like, yeah, I'm like sliding on his feet.
It looks scary. It looks scary. You know what it looks like? Oh, the Polar Express. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, don't remind me of that.
It looks like the Polar Express.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's just neat.
Yeah.
And her shoes don't look like they fit her. That was like one of the things that I noticed in this clip. It looks like her shoes don't fit her. Why does it look like that? Like she can't move in whatever shoes that she's wearing. I thought she was gonna fall.
Yeah. Might be the angle of her feet.
Looks weird.
I don't know.
But like this part right here, right? She's not you. What I can't stand it, like Rachel Zegler, she has a beautiful voice. No one can deny that. That girl can sing. She's got a beautiful voice. And I think that like because I watched West Side Story, right? She's got a beautiful voice. There are parts in West Side Story and in the Hunger Games where like she didn't need to be singing, but they're making her hum or do this. Where it doesn't need to be sung. There's nothing needs to be there. She doesn't need to be singing right there, right?
It could just be music.
You can do a lot of expression and, dancing with your body, and because they're supposed to be cleaning at this point, so she could be interacting with them as opposed to just singing. But I guess it's kind of hard to do that when they're not like actual actors. But there's so much, and there's only so much I feel like they can like make these dwarves emote in certain parts, because I'm noticing that like unless she's directly interacting with them, at least in these little scenes that I found, if they're not like on the dwarves aren't really facing the camera, like back to, or only like the side profile or something. I don't know. It's kind of it's really weird, but there's so much that can be done with like body, facial expressions. She could just be talking to them, interacting with like the little woodland creatures that are in the house. She'd be doing so much. She doesn't need to be singing like this whole time.
No. I mean, we could just have the music basically, and that's it.
That's Grumpy. Oh, it looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks so bad. I hate it. There's Enchanted. I love that movie Enchanted. Do you know that movie Enchanted?
Yeah, that's the one where she comes from the cartoon world into the real world.
Yeah. So she
actually has a decent message about how she can save herself. Essentially, she doesn't need the prince, but doesn't exactly take away from the fact that like she like does.
Well, it's its own story, but it pulls its own story, from a lot of like it's its own story, but it pulls from a lot of the Disney fairy tales because it's a Disney movie. But there's a part in that movie where she's like, okay, everybody, time to clean, right? She's gonna clean the apartment, and there's like it's a really cute dance number. It's inspired by by Whistle While You Work, and it's done so well. And she's by herself interacting with like all of the creatures that live in New York City. So rats and roaches and flies. It's disgusting. But
Yeah,
she
work-
does
you
but
work
she
with what
does
you
such a
have,
great
basically,
job
yeah.
of like interacting with all of the little nasty
Yeah.
creatures that are around her, right?
Yeah.
And there's some parts in there where like she's not really singing the whole time, but she's dancing and she's interacting. That's perfect. That's a way to do like a live action with like the little creatures around you, to do like a whistle while you work type of thing. Not this, it's just not
No.
good. The other one is this one. I didn't realize that they showed this whole scene.
Now you watch the
Look at him.
Which one is that supposed to be?
I have no idea. I don't know.
dishes. You tidy up the room.
They look so gross.
You clean those cobwebs.
Listen to the way he says me. Hold on, are you ready?
And he'll use the broom.
Me?
Hey, Gilbert's dog. I don't know, Mr. Bentham. It's all bad.
Me?
Use the broom.
Me?
This is where, like, someone would say, I've seen better acting in a porno.
Me?
Yes.
Listen.
Use the broom.
Like, you just can't get over that. This is all we're going to watch in this entire clip.
It's the only time that we hear, I think it's the only time we hear a dwarf talk.
Use the broom.
She's yes, you fucking idiot. What the fuck? I gave you the motherfucking broom. Me?
Whistle while you work. And cheerfully.
That dude has like moobs. Look, he's been drinking too much tap water. He's developed.
That's like a
moobs.
pitch of a dog whistle there when she whistles.
Hi, Darian.
And cheerfully.
They look terrible. They look terrible. Oh man, they so missed out on casting actors to play the dwarves and just exaggerate their features.
I'm saying we have
give them the
prosthetics,
big nose or something.
like makeup and the practical effects they could have done. So she's actually interacting with someone there, and not someone in place of something that's supposed to be there, which is going to be CGI'd in later. So
They look so bad. They really do. They missed out on casting. Oh god, fuck you, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
this looks terrible. Me? Look at her dancing here. Hold on.
And cheerfully together we can tidy up the place.
He's falling asleep. That's Sleepy. This one in the back.
yeah, exactly. Trey Scott Adkins had prosthetics in John Wick 4.
He's falling
They
asleep.
can do it. What?
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. Literally.
He's falling asleep, and then look at the face that she gives him. You motherfucker! You really falling asleep during my motherfucking
I'm like,
song?
give Sleepy a break. All right, that's his name.
Bitch. You motherfucker. Me? I'm sorry. Look at his. Oh, I think that's sneezy because his nose is like really big.
Yeah, that looks like
and red. That has to be
Yeah.
sneezy. God, it looks so bad.
So I'm married to.
See, that sounds really good. She can sing. I like her voice. Rachel Zegler can really sing. Oh God, he looks creepy. I don't like how dopey look. They all look creepy. Is that Doc back there? I think that's Doc because he's wearing glasses.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think that's
Doc's in the
Doc.
back.
I don't know who this is. Happy? Is it Happy?
Maybe Happy. He looks
That's
like overly
Happy.
happy. It has
That's
to be
the one that
Happy.
says me.
Yeah, because like look at that expression. That is someone who's like has that overt happiness on his face, pretty much.
Yeah,
There's
that's
Grumpy in
Happy.
the background. You can tell that's Grumpy.
You see Grumpy. You see a close up of Grumpy in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Happy. Happy looks autistic. Happy looks like Happy looks. I'm gonna write it in chat.
Happy-
Hold on.
yeah,
'Cause I don't want
Happy-
to say it out loud.
He's on the spectrum.
I don't want to say. I put it in the chat. I don't want to say it out loud. Like the way he said me.
He has a little bit of an intellectual disability. Just a smidge on the spectrum when it comes to
I don't want to
disabilities.
say it out loud, but I gotta say it. That is what I thought of when he said me. I'm like, oh my god.
See, basically, just to give you perspective on like Steph's and my friendship, there's an image I had saved on Instagram where it's like you have the one friend going, I can't say that. That's really mean. Right? That's her. Then the second one is like, I can, give me the phone. That's me.
Yeah, that's Mara. Oh my gosh, hold on. It's Grumpy. Poor Grumpy. So
Yeah.
Grumpy was played by Martin Kleba. Is that his name? Martin Kleba? I forgot it
I'd have
already.
to look it up. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the details of
You
this
don't know
movie.
who he is? He's the little
Hey,
person that's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, I know that actor. Okay, yeah, I know that
Yeah,
actor.
so he plays Grumpy, but obviously that's not him, right?
No.
So I wonder if he just did the
Maybe
voice
the
of
voice,
Grumpy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Disney could say, "Look,
He's
we're hiring
he's the
little
only
people."
one that's also like credited on IMDb right now. That's it, just him.
Okay.
He's the only little person that's on.
This
IMDb
movie's coming
playing
out
Grumpy.
in relative short order when like in terms of release dates, basically by now. So like, why have they not just on IMDb? Here's the credits for like those, unless like they don't want to because he's the only short person. He's the only little person voicing one of the dwarves, and the rest of them actually are regular sized people.
Regular sized people. Yeah. Look at this is look. He has a squirrel friend for Disbrew. Look, the squirrel's angry.
There's Disbrew. There he is.
That's
Disbrew made an appearance.
Disbrew. Disbrew's in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He's right
Yes.
here. There's Disbrew.
Hey, Sentai.
He's friends with Grumpy.
Yes. Which is
I don't like the way they smile. It's creepy. Look at him smile. Look at his teeth.
that's why it's like this is so bad with the CGI. It's like, oh my god, I can't beat this dead horse enough. Basically, like I can't beat this dead horse enough. Little people with prosthetics. It would look less creepy.
When he put his arms up, they could barely go over his head like a baby.
Look at his head.
He still hasn't used the hammer. Happy.
You know, Happy I could do the one that snaps and uses it.
I don't
on-
think you should be giving Happy a hammer. She
No.
takes it away. Maybe not give this one a hammer. He can't whistle. He's going. Look, it's gross.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was never really my favorite fairy tale, Disney or otherwise, but come on.
It looks really bad. Look at it. It looks really bad. They look terrible. They really did. They missed out on hiring actual actors.
You'll get it. When we're a team, the house will be.
I feel it like it's fitting now to remind the chat that you send a $50 super chat or like equivalent in members. We take shots. All right, we're gonna need it moving forward with this shit. Because more more is going to be coming out since this is like what early-ish time frame release date in 2025, basically.
Yeah.
So it's going to come out sooner than we realize, chats.
I thought her dress was going to look a lot better on screen, and
it doesn't. No,
it doesn't. Remember when we first saw a glimpse of Rachel Zegler in her Snow White outfit? Or her Snow White dress. I thought it was going to look a lot better on screen because maybe things don't translate. Yeah,
lighting in one image basically would be better, on film, things like that. No,
I thought it was going to look a lot better on screen.
Oh yeah, speaking of this shit, guess what trailer I saw when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine again? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, with lighting and the way movies are made, all that stuff. I thought it was going to affect the way the outfit looked, but it still looks like garbage. It still looks cheap. Looks like cosplay. Actually, it looks worse than cosplay.
I was gonna say cosplayers do it better.
Yeah, it actually looks worse than cosplay. And Rachel Zegler, she's on the she's doing the Snow White tour now, or not tour, press tour. She's doing the Snow White press tour with Gal Gadot, and she's praising this dress during her press tours that I've seen. Also, have you seen all of the backlash that all of her fans are all the backlash that Gal Gadot's getting?
Wait, Gal Gadot's getting the one who actually looks like she should be playing something as fair as Snow White, even though she's too old to play it.
So Rachel Zegler, she's this is getting political right now, but y'all can look it up if you want to. I had to send Jay a few things because he asked me about it, and it's on TikTok and everything. A lot of it is on TikTok, but they're making videos and putting up pictures of Rachel Zegler next to Gal Gadot during their press interviews, and they find the pictures of Rachel Zegler not smiling while she's looking at Gal, and they're saying that Rachel Zegler has a very pro, she's what is it?
Was she pro-Palestine or something like that?
Palestine.
Okay.
And Gal Gadot is Israeli.
Yeah.
And she's been very outspoken about it. And so all of the people that are also pro-Palestine, they're like, oh my gosh, you can tell Rachel Zegler hates her. You can tell she just can't stand being around her. And Gal Gadot is getting backlash once again for her stance and everything. And people are standing behind Rachel Zegler, and people are also saying I'm not going to support this movie because Gal is in it. It doesn't matter that I like Rachel Zegler. So it's, I don't know who's going to go watch it.
I mean, I'm saying it's fucking hell.
Yeah, and she was in the Israeli military. Yeah, she's in the Israeli army.
Yeah, because when Israeli citizens, but whether it's male or female, I might add. So basically, all you feminists out there, if you're thankful you're not living in Israel, you are conscripted for a certain period of time in the Israeli military. So she served. She did her time, her conscription service. They do again, both men and women, so they don't exclude one sex over the other, pretty much. And she served. And because she's Israeli, she's going to have a love and affinity for her birth country. God forbid. Pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of people, they're thinking that they just hate each other. Maybe there's some on-set fighting or something. But no, it's something that's I guess a fan narrative driven, because I don't think that
it's a picture taken
coming out
a second
with her pro-Palestine opinion, right? Without Rachel Zegler coming out with her pro-Palestine opinion, and Gal Gadot having her own beliefs, that's the only thing. This is a fan narrative that is being driven by Rachel Zegler's fans, woke fans. So they're giving Gal Gadot a lot of hate. So that's what I'm seeing.
I'm saying, and they're basing it off basically images that are taken at a split second in time.
Yes, yeah.
That's it. That's it, basically. And she just happens to not be smiling in that image because she might be listening to what Gal is saying. That's it. Like, you're not going to be smiling all the time in an interview. So,
yeah, they're like, what do they say? What is their hashtag? I think it's like free Rachel or something like that. Free Rachel or save Rachel Zegler or something like that. That's like the hashtags that they're using.
I don't think Rachel wants to be saved because she wants a paycheck.
So,
but
yeah, that's yep.
She doesn't want saved.
That's what I'm seeing online.
No, that is so stupid.
So
but I thought you meant along hello.
It's a little bit political, which is why like I'm not free her from what? Free her from the press junkets with Gal. Like, she doesn't have to be next to Gal at every single press junket. She let her go on her own. Yeah, it's very much a fan narrative that's being driven right now on like Twitter and TikTok.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's like it's really stupid. But I was seeing that and they're like, I'm not going to go and see this movie because Gal is in it. I don't care that I like Rachel. Even though Rachel looks amazing as Snow White, I'm not going to go see it because of Gal. So it's like, well, okay, well, people who like Snow White aren't happy with this, right? So they're not going to go see it.
These
people who aren't happy with like what the dwarves look like, they're not going to go see it. Even some of Rachel Zegler's woke fans aren't going to go see it because Gal's in it. So like, I don't know who's going to go see this movie.
I'm like just morbid. I don't want to watch this, but I'd be like morbidly curious to see what its opening numbers are. Because you even have feminists, you even have women who are like basically are self-titled feminists, essentially. Even they're upset because like they removed the prince element. Like even they're upset. Yeah. Like, why'd you take away the prince?
All of the people who are so tired of the Disney live-action remakes aren't going to go see it. So,
of course, Disbrew's going to see it because he has to see his little cameo.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, Disbrew's in it. He has to go support it.
He has to go support it.
Disbrew's in it. He has to go support it.
Oh God.
I can't get over that.
You might as well make it a clip so you can play. So like you can go me.
Look, there's Disbrew. Disbrew's in it.
Yeah, there he is. There it is, right there.
Boom.
Disbrew sighting right there.
He's mad. He's mad at Disney.
So.
Oh my gosh. JRO Studio Steph is like my mom. When she sees something funny, she'll repeat it 1,000 times.
My brother is like that. He'll become almost fixated on something, just like and like just laugh at it. The
more tired I get, the funnier I find things. So like the later it gets at night, and if I'm watching something on Instagram, if I'm sending you something super late at night or early, depending on what time it is, just know that I've laughed at that and I've watched it like at least 40 times in my delirious sleepy state.
And that is actually true, chat. When it comes to sleep deprivation, you find shit funnier than when you would normally find it funnier. When I was in college, I had this one friend who was, shall we say, a little sleep deprived because she was up late studying, things like that, and everything. So all this guy did was say light bulb, and she laughed hysterically in the dining hall. That's all he did. He just like light bulb, and it's like she burst out laughing. Yes, it was like so. Sleep deprivation and humor is real, basically. So you are in a delirious state, essentially.
That is so stupid.
Look
at his stupid face.
Yeah, you have to clip it at this point. Clip that image too. Find that image. And that. I want that. I want that. Like the scroll with the crossed arms.
So bad.
Anyway.
What did you think of the Toy Story 5 premise? That the toys are
fighting electronics.
Yeah, the toys are up against electronics.
I still say they should have stopped at 3. It was a perfect ending. It was a perfect ending.
Yes,
We
but
do not need. Yeah. Yes. I'm really not sold on that premise. I'm really not sold on that premise. Like with the fighting electronics, basically. So it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Show the little girl like glued her to an iPad, and the toys have to fight for her attention? I'm like, what? Basically, I'm like, because like nothing in these movies has set it up to where like they would actually have any type of reason to fear electronics at this point with the little girl, because she's not into that.
Well, she is now. I mean, did you see
I didn't see the trailer, but I'm saying it's like, now, like, they like been setting it up that like, she has
with
it, so it's
the
like,
iPad.
so it's like, well, like, so I'm not sold. I'm not really not sold. Again, they should have stopped at 3. Really should have stopped at the 3rd one. Like I said, it was a perfect ending. Perfect ending to Andy's story. Yeah, like, kind of like a beginning to the little girl's story, but we did not need to see it. The toys are happy, and like Andy's happy, things like that. It's fine. I think this is gonna be a situation where we say there's only 3 Toy Story movies. I even say that right now, basically, with the 4th.
Well, I mean, that wasn't the only problem with Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 had a lot of problems. Toy Story 4 had a lot of problems.
Well, I had a lot.
Like a lot of its characters did things out of character that they wouldn't normally do. Like for whatever reason, they made Buzz dumb.
Yeah.
Thinking that his electronics or his little arm, his little button that speaks, thinking that like that's his conscience, which is stupid. Like he knows that he's a toy, so why would he think that?
Both people now like basically like almost uber feminist.
They did a lot of things out of or they wrote a lot of the characters out of character.
Yeah.
No, it was just really bad.
You have Woody essentially abandoning the little girl. I'm like, Woody would never do that.
No.
He would never do that. Even if she was like, like wasn't playing with him as much, he would never abandon the child.
And look at everything he went through in the first movie to get back to Andy.
Yeah.
There's no way he would have abandoned his kid.
No. And there's a question to you.
That is the most important job for a toy, is to provide happiness
there for the child. Even if the child doesn't play with you, just to be there for the child.
Be there for the child. I mean, he was with Andy. He was going to go off to college with Andy, right? Like, that is his main purpose, his one job, and he drives it. He drives that point in with every single movie, and then he's just going to be a lost toy. Like, there's no way that Woody would have made that decision.
This is a real quick question for you. That Albert resent the email. He's wondering if he got it. So.
Oh, I'll look right now.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, chat, that's a little bit of D20, like a little bit from D23. It's all bad. It is all bad. But let's real fast, let's just go into we're not going to go into these reviews, but I got a kick out of the titles because I'll just show this real fast. Borderlands, and I know you saw it, Disparu. Where is it? I have so many tabs opened. Just on its opening day, earned $4 million. Total for the weekend was $8.8 million domestically. Add another 7.7 on top of that, it barely broke $16 million.
Yeah.
Barely broke $16 million. And this movie had a budget of about $115 million. All right. It grossed about 10% of that budget. But as the rule goes, you take the budget for the movie, take that times 2.5, and you'll get what this movie needs to make in order to just break even. Just to break even. Pretty much. That's essentially the rule. That's essentially the rule when it comes to that. So this movie would have had to make almost $300 million just to break even. It's not going to get anywhere close to that. And yes, Grace Randolph liked it, and I know you quote tweeted her. I cannot see the tweet because Grace Randolph.
Oh my god, you didn't see the tweet, Mario?
No, because I'll tell you why. Because I'm blocked. I called her a blonde bimbo, and she blocked me.
Oh, I'm not blocked. Hold on, let me show you.
Yeah, I know you're not blocked.
I got a kick out of it. I was laughing so hard.
You're going to take a screenshot of it because I can't see the tweet.
I'm looking for her.
But I called her a blonde bimbo, and she didn't take too kindly to that.
The
Yeah,
one
we liked
person that liked it was
the one person that liked it.
Grace
So they bumped it up to
Randolph.
4% positive rating.
I'm looking
Yeah,
for it.
she
Oh,
blocked
here
me.
it is. Grace Randolph. It had to be Grace. Of course it was Grace. Of course it was Grace. That's her tweet. Because it was at 0%. And
Yeah.
then the score went up to like a 4%. And she put, it was me. From
You know what
0
I
to
picture?
4%
You know
on
what I
Rotten
picture when she
Tomatoes.
says that? I picture Jim Carrey from Liar Liar when he gets out of the elevator after he's just passed gas and he turns around and goes, "It was me." That's what I picture for her saying that.
So it was me. Whatever, man. I had a good time. Pretty crazy to set your review and post at 3 a.m. and discover you're the only one who liked. Of course, you're the only one who liked it. You have terrible taste in movies.
Yeah.
I never played the game, to be fair. Bro, this is her review. I've never played the games, but I got a kick out of Blanchett starring in a movie like this and doing a great job. I do wish the script had been adjusted a bit better to accommodate her age. Or, they could have hired
because
someone
Blanchett's playing a character
better
like
suited
supposed
for
to
the
be in her
part.
like 20s to early 30s. She's like the character's kind of young. It's a lot younger than Blanchett.
Like she put Blanchett fans will enjoy this.
You're not supposed to be saying it because you're a Blanchett fan. You're supposed to be saying it because you're a Borderlands fan.
Because you're a Borderland, not a Kate Blanchett fan. Who's going to the movies because they're a Kate Blanchett fan? Her whole one Grace Randolph, like that's it. She's got one fan. Not sure about any time, or I think it's like anyone else. Not sure about anyone else. Well, they should have been writing the movie and casting for anyone else, not just Kate Blanchett fans. Yeah. So, it was me.
And she says she never played the game, basically. So she's basing her, the performance off of what? Like, what accuracy, basically? What accuracy says that, Kate Blanchett was perfect casting for the role of Lilith? I'm just I haven't played the game. I wouldn't make something that's like that stupid of a comment because I'm going to say I never played the game, so I have no idea if this portrayal is accurate or not. I do know Lilith is younger. That's what I know. Not 55.
I like Savvy's response. Why would you recommend the movie? Why would you recommend the movie though if the only thing you liked was an actor?
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. So I was going to ask you, you've never played Borderlands?
I've never played. I know a little bit about Borderlands, but I never played the games. According to some people, the games kind of become a bit progressive as they go along. Not to the point of the movie, I should say, like not to that extent. But like I said, I would not make a stupid comment like that because I don't have anything to base it off of. I can't say if this performance is accurate or not, if it's like good for the character because I don't know the characters that well. Never played the game. I'm saying I would not I would come across. I have no reference to base off of watching this film, basically. So I can't go. There's nothing for me to compare accurately the performances because I don't know the characters that well. I know them a little bit. I've seen people play the games, so I know the games a little bit, roughly. But I myself have never played them. But I got a kick, like I said, I'm gonna stop sharing this, the one where it's the $4 million ones. I got a kick out of these article titles bashing Borderlands, and this one in particular got me. I got a kick out of. Which is it? No, it's not that. Here it is, right here. I got such a kick out of the title, I had to show it. The Borderlands movie is such an irredeemable mess. It had me longing for 1993 Super Mario Brothers.
Ah, yikes!
I was like, that is bad.
That's saying
you are longing for the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie. I love Bob Hoskins. John Leguizamo can go fuck himself, but that is bad. That is bad. Hey, Phil. When you are longing for that movie. So.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Maybe not all Hollywood films, but, a good chunk of them. Especially, ones like this. And another one I got a kick out of. I love the title of this. Borderlands is an insult to gamers, movie lovers, and carbon-based life forms.
It's just for nobody. Maybe it should have
No.
just gone streaming instead of being put out in the theater.
Yeah, well, because I'm kind of surprised at this one as well, especially because it's variety. But they're even coming out saying it failed gamers, like the author of this article, that this movie failed gamers. Yeah, I'm saying it's like when you're like comparing it to that and just longing for the objectively bad but subjectively awesome in its awfulness, as you put it, like of the Super Mario Brothers movie, then this shit is bad. And like Kevin Hart's, like his character, like which article did I think it was this one. Let me like scroll down a little bit. Where they talk about Kevin Hart's character.
Supposed to be like really tall and muscular.
Yeah, he plays Roland. He plays the character Roland. Yeah, so it's like meanwhile the gruff Roland is reduced to a series of tired jokes about Kevin Hart's height.
Well, I mean, that's all he has going for him, honestly. Like that's.
I know. I'm saying it's like, you know, like that's just shtick basically. So I'm like, we get it. He's short, but Roland is not that short. Roland is basically a gruff soldier character.
Yeah, he's the tallest one out of everybody in that group.
Yeah,
and they cast Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I'm like, really? So, yeah.
I honestly, I haven't seen the movie. I haven't played the game, so I'm missing a lot of context. Like I don't know, but Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. Like that's it.
Yeah. Trace's Tiny Tina character is more of a MacGuffin. You have like 55-year-old Cate Blanchett. She's a great actress, but she's playing a character that's like basically 30 years younger than she is. So yeah, it's all bad. But like I said, I gotta keep up with the titles.
If they're gonna make a terrible movie, at least cast actors that look like the characters, so it has one redeeming quality.
One redeeming quality. But let's talk. If you've seen the gender swapped penguin in the Cape Crusader series, I'm like you've seen the picture going around of Oswalda Cobblepot.
Oswalda, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is what Minnie Driver said, because Minnie Driver voices.
She voices it.
She voices Oswalda Cobblepot, basically. So the gender swapped penguin, and this is her explanation for like why, like, you know, like her defense of this. Well, it's amazing because a lot of times today we're trying to redress the balance of the world through representation and minorities in film and animation. Yeah, you sometimes feel that things have been shoehorned in, perhaps, maybe more than really organically. This is organic, like it is completely believable that this bizarre, strange, larger-than-life character is genderless. It's not in the Rose Gallery. Oswald Cobblepot is a fucking male, because it's the essence of Penguin is really what we're looking at, which is the essence of the original comics and the original animated series. The essence of the character, because the penguin is genderless.
It's not organic.
No, it's not. And she's calling the penguin.
He says this is organic, like it is completely believable that this bizarre, strange, larger-than-life character is genderless because its essence of penguin is
really what we're looking at.
No, it's not organic. It's so far from organic. It's not organic. You are literally gender swapping a character when you don't need to. So it's not organic at all. The character already
is not organic. Like she's calling the character genderless, and I'm like, no. Oswald Cobblepot has been a male character since the iteration of the Penguin character in the Rose Gallery of villains. There's been nothing genderless, quote unquote, about this character. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Albert. Kevin Hart should just do interviews with The Rock. Those two are hilarious together. That's the only thing where I laugh at is their interactions, basically. But Penguin has always been a man. Yes, Andrew, Borderlands is terrible from what I've seen, even though I have no intention of seeing the movie. But here's what Bruce Timm said. Because Bruce Timm is coming out and defending the reason for gender swapping the Penguin. All right? He's coming out and defending. Because this is what he said right here. Okay? James and I were talking about the overview of the show, and we said, one of the problems with Batman, as he is there's a lack of good villains.
I hate that. I read that statement earlier today.
You've got Catwoman, you've got Poison Ivy, you've got Harley Quinn. Okay, there's Lady Shiva. There's Talia al Ghul, just to name a couple more, but there's been more female villains that Batman has come up against, but all right. But it would be really good to have more female villains. And off the top of my head, I said, we never really could figure out exactly what to do with the Penguin. Adapt the fucking Penguin as he is. What the gimmick for the Penguin would be. Well, like, did you see that I didn't see the clip, but apparently they made the Penguin a cabaret singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lady Deathstroke. A lack of good villains. Yeah, a lack of good villains in the Rogues Gallery, which is considered amongst comic book fans one of the best galleries of villains, bar none, in comic book history. Is the Rogues Gallery of villains Batman has come up against. I'm saying it's like there has been a number of female villains that Batman has encountered. Not just the big three that people know, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. Not just the big three. He has encountered good number of female villains that they could have included.
Who said this again? It was Bruce Timm?
Bruce Timm.
It's funny because didn't Bruce Timm produce Batman the Animated Series?
Yeah, I believe so. So he's saying this shit.
Yeah. You would think that there is no problem with Batman.
Yeah.
The lack of good villains, are you kidding? He has one of the best rogue galleries of
I'm saying
superheroes.
like you talk to comic book fans and talk about gallery of villains heroes. Batman is always, if not at the top, near the very top of villains that a hero has come up against.
Right. Well, not only that, but Batman the Animated Series literally birthed Harley Quinn. That's where we first saw her.
Yeah.
So he's very well aware that there are a lot of very well-known and very popular female villains. There's no need to make Oswalda Cobblepot. No, there is. I'm saying there is no reason. There is plenty that he could have included if he wanted to have more than just the big three, as I said, that even normies know. If you want to go past, like I said, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, that most people know, Falcone's daughter, Sophia Falcone, Lady Deathstroke, Lady Shiva, Talia al Ghul. But what pisses me off is what he says at the end. We never really could figure out exactly what to do with the Penguin. What the gimmick for the Penguin would be. There's no gimmick with the Penguin. There's no gimmick with the Penguin. The Penguin is the Penguin. He basically is a crime lord. He's the crime lord that deals in the underbelly of Gotham. That's where he is. Yeah. There's no gimmick. What do you mean you don't know what to do with him? Yeah. And then he's like, what would it be? What if we gender flip the Penguin? Now that's a gimmick. So if you wanted to not take the Penguin and take his story and, create something around that, if all you wanted was a gimmick, then congratulations, you created a gimmick. This is a gimmick. Making him a woman, gender swapping the Penguin, you've now made it a gimmick because it's not something that happens organically. It's not anything like that. It's just a gimmick. I don't know, Mr. Bentham. I'm assuming by gender swapping that they are going to add a layer of sympathy because you got to do that apparently with female characters. No, you can't have any female characters that show any type of negative qualities or anything like that. There has to be some layer of sympathetic. Paul Dini's apparently the brains of Batman. We have basically him to thank. Now we have Bruce Timm to thank for this shit. Bruce Timm. Did you say Bro, Bruce Timm.
Let me scroll back up because I missed it because the chat jumped on me. But thank you. At this point, don't call it Batman. Make something new. Yeah. Because they race swap. Didn't they race swap the Gordons in this Cape Crusader
on
series?
Batman animation for a long time.
Yeah.
Of a really fucking long time. So to say that I don't know what to do with the Penguin. What should we do with him? It's bullshit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that, Dan. Like, you know, he lost his mind a long time ago. But yeah, but like that, I just like saw that and I was like, we have to touch on that because that is like, you know, Bruce Timm did like, you know, basically worked on Batman the Animated Series. So I'm like, you worked on Batman the Animated Series, as you pointed out, which gave.
Well, he worked on Batman the Animated Series. He worked on the new
Batman.
Batman Adventures. He worked on Batman Beyond. Like he worked on all of those,
which would mean like he has knowledge of the Rogues Gallery of villains, and he's coming out and saying something as stupid as this. So thank you for super chat, Albert. Cobblepot became a gun runner, as I understood. He was a crime lord. He was basically he ran like basically a crime ring in the underbelly of Gotham. Like basically it was mob, essentially with you know not the Falcone status of like mob status, basically. He was a criminal. There was no gimmick to his character or anything like that. He was just evil. He was a villain. Same with the Joker. Same with Two-Face, Poison Ivy, the Riddler, what have you, basically.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I have to do like Batman and Batman Returns for the 1s and 2s at some point. But yeah, Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, played Cobblepot's father in Batman Returns. That was interesting. But anyway, I'm just gonna close those. It's like not, you know, like retardation, level of retardation. Let's see. I kind of want to wait for her to come back for the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. So let's just like go into this article. All right. So basically, Jenna Ortega, who's compared to like, you know, most in Hollywood, actually does seem to have a level head on her shoulder when it comes to basically opinions within the mire that is what used to be Tinseltown, basically. All right, it boggles my mind that like Hollywood ever put out good movies like with the golden age of Hollywood compared to now. But she came out, she did an interview because like Beetlejuice is coming out next month. All right, so basically the sequel to Beetlejuice, she plays the daughter of Winona Ryder's character. Why am I blanking on the character's name? But basically, like, you know, like this return, all right, to be basically that kind of return, but at the same time, it looks like, you know, like at least it's not a repeat of the plot, basically. But she kind of says something like at once ridiculous like this, but then she also calls out the political correctness within Hollywood. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in the quote that she says. So basically, she comes out and says, Mexican people are considered a risk in Hollywood due to America's current socio-political climate. And this is what she said. Lydia, thank you. Lydia's daughter. And this is what she said. So on one hand, she was happy that they did not make her heritage a focus in the Addams Family show on Netflix, because she said there's nothing worse than when they have the side Mexican character who's carrying the flag on their shoulder. We're so much more than that. So she, on one hand, she's like, she was happy with that element of her as an actress not being shoved down the viewers' throats. But then she says this. It's so corny, but in terms of the land of the free, home of the brave, Mexican people are considered a risk. Even the term alien is insane when we're speaking about human beings. All right? So it's like Mexican people are considered a risk. Again, like that's where kind of like the liberal bent is, because I'm like, no, they're not considered a risk. Illegal immigrants are considered a risk because they're not properly vetted. They're allowed to run basically run with like no elements of overseeing. All right, they basically still have legal status. So, but they're like allowed to do things that legal citizens are able to do. there are sanctuary cities that have been like, that are illegal immigrants can go to, where if like they commit a crime, they can't be held responsible, they can't be extradited or anything like that. Or like to say they commit a crime in one city, go to sanctuary city, oh, they can't be charged because now they're like got sanctuary. That's what people have a problem with. It would be no different than if it was Mexican or if it was any other nationality. People have a problem with illegal immigration, not the Mexican people, because there are actually Mexican people that come here legally, actually go through the process of becoming legal citizens, and they fight for being able to do that. Meanwhile, you have illegal citizens, like, basically running rampant in cities, not having to do that shit, and reaping the benefits. That's what people have a problem with. All right? Soul says Latinos here don't even like the migrants. Yeah, Charlie Sheen. People don't realize Charlie Sheen's real last name is actually Estevez, because Martin Sheen, all right, his real name is Ramon Estevez. All right, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are brothers, so Charlie Sheen is an Estevez. All right, Salma Hayek. Does she not know the definition of alien? I don't think so. But we don't have a problem with the Mexican people. That's what I'm saying. Like, she says something. On one hand, yes, kind of obvious. She's calling out Hollywood, but she's calling out Hollywood for it with political correctness. And at the same time, I'm like, why? What? A little bit of a liberal bent. All right. But here she just says this. The business that we work in is so touchy-feely, said the actress in defense of her vocal support for Palestine amidst the ongoing Israeli-Hamas war. Like I said, she's liberal, like leftist leanings. Everybody wants to be politically correct, but I feel like in doing that, we lose a lot of our humanity and integrity because it lacks honesty. So it's like, on one hand, yeah, I kind of agree with you, because, yeah, you lose a lot of humanity and integrity, as well as creativity, when you go the politically correct route. But then you say this, and I'm like, I kind of feel difficult. It's difficult for me to actually side with you, because you say this shit. So, hey, hello, we're back. So it's going into what
I had to take my dogs out really quickly. They were whining.
So I'll just like scroll back up because she says, like on one hand, she was like happy that they did not use her Latina heritage, like shove it down the viewers' throats as part of her character on the Addams Family, the Netflix show The Addams Family. But then she says this when she talks about the growing anti-immigrant sentiment in America. She's like, no, it's anti-illegal immigrant sentiment in America. It's so corny, but in terms of the land of the free, home of the brave, Mexican people are considered a risk. Even the term alien is insane when we're speaking about human beings. So she's talking about that political climate, at the same time kind of decrying the political correctness in Hollywood. So I'm like, on one hand, I kind of agree with you, because yeah, Hollywood has gone the uber political correct route, and you lose any type of creativity. But then she says this. So,
I can't remember who had a video on it, but I have to look it up. But I think like a good example of, someone who sort of like had to exist in Hollywood, became famous super quick, just like her, and say all of like the politically correct things in Hollywood. It's like Jim Carrey, and eventually he just stopped caring.
Mm-hmm.
And when he realized how incredibly like fake Hollywood is, like Jim Carrey right now is, whenever he goes on interviews, he sounds like really crazy, but he really just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, I've seen it. I can see that.
Yeah, he really just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's on his like own little journey. But he talks a lot about the fakeness in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And how like you really have to say the right things. You have to say even though you don't, if you don't want to be blacklisted, if you don't want to be on a short list of actors who you're not going to be hiring, then you need to at least say something politically correct. That's why it's like she says one thing that you can agree on, but on the other hand, she'll say something else. That's why.
Yeah. So, and yes, Talia did that. So that's how we got Damian Wayne.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm saying like she's kind of like I'm not implying that she's speaking out both sides of her mouth, but she's touching on like the two sides, so she doesn't risk angering one side over the other. She's like says this, where that one side agrees on, but then she says this that like another side agrees on. So I'm like,
she's sort of towing the line, not really saying anything.
Yeah. So that's why I told the chat earlier. It's like, don't get too excited when Jenna Ortega is like calling out political correctness, because she's really is towing the line. When like she's making that comment. So she figures Danny Trejo exists. Danny Trejo basically was like, was a basically career criminal who turned his life around. And in a weird sense, Hollywood helped him turn his life around. And you'll get a kick out of this, Steph. He plays Animal Crossing.
I know. I quote tweeted him and I'm like, prove it. Show me your island. Prove it. It's your favorite video game ever? Prove it. I'll show you my island.
So yeah. So I mean, so like there's proof that you have like the actor who plays Miguel in Cobra Kai, Pedro Pascal, who's every fucking where now, John Leguizamo, George Lopez, Jennifer Lopez, Charlie Sheen, whose last name is actually Estevez. Yeah.
Emilio Estevez.
No, I didn't. Soul Assassin make a capital offense to hurt animals. Oh, yeah, I dig that. Yeah, I think it should be a capital offense here because it's like an indication of psychopathy. Albert says, I'm a liberal and I'm Team Israel. I'm also Canadian for Trump and I can't stand Justin Trudeau. Yeah, I'm saying, like, for me, I tend to, like, whenever I talk about that side, I say leftists because they've commandeered the classical definition of liberal to make them sound like progressive. So like they are actually not liberal when you look at the actual evolution of that political ideology. They are not liberal. They commandeered it to trick the American people into believing that they were progressive. I say leftist. Because you can be liberal and not be insane left. Because there are liberal Republicans. All right? Not every Republican is conservative. So yeah, but there it is. Anyway. All right. Okay, I'm going to I saw this article. I want you to guess what the blasphemy is from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh.
Deadpool and Wolverine slammed as blasphemy as fans demand refunds.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy, yes.
When did this article come out?
July 29th. So, not long before the movie premiered.
Is it like the gay pandering?
No. No, actually not. No, not with this one. No. This is the problem these people apparently had. They did not like when Deadpool referred to himself as Marvel Jesus.
Genius.
Yeah. They did not, the gripe with the film is the fact that Deadpool referred to himself as Marvel Jesus. As a joke. Because it's alluding to the belief that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to save the MCU. He calls himself Marvel Jesus.
That's stupid.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
That's kind of dumb.
So
okay,
this is
play their TikTok.
I'm going to. No.
We went to see Deadpool and we left probably about 25-30 minutes into it. It is disgusting. It is so against the Lord. They are blaspheming our creator and you should not see it. Do not spend money on it. It is not worth anything. The fact that it has beat all of the MCU movies out blows me away, and it blows me away that people were bringing their children into it. But we left that theater. We left 25 minutes in, and I didn't ask for my money back. I truly was so guilty that I even allowed us to stay in as long as we did, because it started off bad. But no joke, they used Jesus's name in it in a disgusting way in that 30 minutes, like 10 times at least. So if you're a Christian, do not see it.
I'm Christian. I fucking laughed.
Wait, more than did she say more than 10 times in 30 minutes? Because that is incorrect.
Something like that. Let me see. I think it's about here.
30 minutes.
Yeah, hold on, let me see if I just a little bit more.
They used Jesus's name in it in a disgusting way in that 30 minutes, like 10 times at least.
At least. From what I remember, they say it, he says it jokingly 3 times at least.
Yeah. Jokingly.
3 times at least. And not only that, but if they're going to see the third one, that means that they've seen the first 2. If they're incredibly religious, then there's a lot more things to be upset about.
I'm like
than that.
Yes.
Right? Not only that, but he's not proclaiming himself that like he is the Lord, that he is Jesus, right? No, he's referring to himself jokingly as Marvel Jesus, so it's in a contained way. It's not like the backlash that the Olympics received, right? Like the Paris Olympics when they did the reenactment of the Last Supper. They're playing roles. They're putting this woman in the middle saying that like this is Jesus. She's playing the role of Jesus, right? So that is completely different than this. And this is very self-contained. He's not saying that I am Jesus, I am Lord, right?
No.
Nothing like that.
It's a contained joke because of the belief that this movie is
within
going to save
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Within the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He's
going
like,
to save
I am Jesus.
MCU. Yeah.
To say that like they say the name Jesus, you can't do that. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. So you know, you can't just like say the name Jesus. The fact
I must not have watched the trailer because he said it during the trailer. So it's like, did you miss that little part? And yes,
that's what I was going to say. That's another thing. Yeah. Did they not see the trailer because he says it in the trailer, so they know very well that he's going to say it in the movie.
Yeah.
And I would think that like if they're going to go see the movie, they probably saw the trailer one way or another. Like they probably saw the movie trailer for Deadpool 3, so like they should know that line is in the movie because it's in the trailer.
Yes. And yes, she did say that she can't believe she allowed them to stay for that long. Yeah. She definitely wears the pants in that family. That guy has said nothing this entire video. All he's doing is nodding in the back.
He's like, yeah.
She wears the pants in the family.
He's upset they left. He's like, God damn it.
Yeah. Mr. T, hello, I have a question. Who brings a kid or kids to see a Deadpool movie? Also, I bet this couple have never seen any Deadpool movies. I'm saying like they must not. I mean, how could they not have? Because they're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, the third movie after Deadpool 1 and 2. I'm like, and like as Steph pointed out, there's like, if you're going to be upset about anything, there's a lot fucking more to be upset about.
There's a lot more to be upset about in that movie. That's why I immediately went to like gays or something, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I have an article because apparently people are upset at the gay homophobic jokes in this movie.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Or, you know, or they're upset about the homophobic jokes because, you know, that in some people, some really like super religious people, you know, consider that blasphemy too. So like why one and not the other? I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. The fact that like you can't say his name. Don't say his name. They said it. And it's not like they said it in a disrespectful way. It's very self-contained. He jokes that he's like Marvel Jesus in that like he can do anything within the confines of the MCU.
And he's going to be the savior of the MCU.
He's going to be the savior of the MCU. Yeah.
It's a joke.
So
it's a joke.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I don't think it was blasphemous.
No, I'm saying like, you know, it's like I said, I'm a Christian. I'm not exactly I would say necessarily how do I put this? An overly devout Christian, but I'm saying it's a joke. It's an obvious joke. And I've had like family members in my, like, you know, basically my family wouldn't let my cousins see certain movies for reasons not really like this, but along those lines. So yeah. So it's like they kind of give Christians a bad name, essentially. So like I said, I'm just
I don't
watching
think
this
they give
and
Christians a bad name. I think that they
like,
have
they
they
kind of
have their
ammunition to people.
beliefs and they're allowed to
So,
believe what they want, right?
I'm
But
not
for
saying
them
they can't.
to
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying like they kind of gives those attacking Christians ammunition when they do like put out stuff like this. So I'm like at the same time,
well, if
I'm
they're
like,
going to put out stuff like this, I think they should phrase it in a different way, right? Like we went and saw Deadpool 3. We had to walk out because, our faith is very important to us. And, he took the Lord's name in vain in our eyes. He said he's Marvel Jesus. And I found that to be disrespectful. I just wanted to let you guys know in case that is important to you, as opposed to them being like, don't go and watch it. I
I'm saying,
can't
like,
believe that people are taking their kids to go and see this movie. I
I'm
can't
saying,
believe that they literally said it like 10 times within 30 minutes. Don't go and support this movie. It's blasphemy. Like there's
I'm saying
better
like,
way to phrase it.
the way they phrased it is what is like
Yeah.
giving the other.
You can
like,
have
those-
your own
like,
beliefs, but don't. It's the same thing that we tell other people, right? SJWs. You can have your beliefs. I don't care. Believe what you want to believe. Don't put those on other people.
Don't tell me how to live my life, basically.
Yeah.
As if like you know what's best for me, essentially. It's like these people, yeah, like you want to walk out of it, you want to demand a refund, fine. You don't like the fact that like they used the name Jesus in this film even as a joke, okay, fine, that's your beliefs. But don't go and tell other people, don't go watch this. Don't don't do this, don't do that. Like don't no. Just say that this is the reason why we wanted to get our money back. That's it. Albert says, "I'm Catholic, and if you're going to see a Deadpool film, you're already already confessional bound. Saying it outside of prayer is considered blasphemy." So I'm saying like there's a lot in the Deadpool movies that is like if you're going to have any problem with anything, there's a litany in the Deadpool movies. I'm not saying I have no problem with them. I laugh at the Deadpool movies. I like the first two Deadpool movies. I enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not saying there's plenty if you're going to be upset at anything.
Yeah, there's so much more to be upset about up until that part too.
Yeah. So
because by the time he says it, and then if you watched it beyond that point, right? Because you say that like he says it, and then within 30 minutes after that, he says it like at least 10 times. So you were there for a good chunk of the film. There's a lot for you to be offended by within that amount of time, within that span of time.
Yes. And then real fast, basically, I saw most boring homophobic jokes, basically. So now, not only you have those individuals upset at the use of the word Jesus and considering it blasphemous use in the Deadpool and Wolverine film, now you have, this is out, of course they're gonna be upset. 5 most boring homophobic jokes. First one they don't like was the joke about the tailor. All right. Nothing at all whatsoever to do with the tailor's sexuality or anything like that. Because the joke basically, remember, Steph, where Deadpool walks out and goes, "Your tailor is a predator, but I love it." After the fitting scene, basically.
Yeah. The tailor beardo is a predator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. As a joke. They consider that homophobic, basically.
That's interesting that they consider that homophobic.
Yeah, I'm saying it's very interesting that was
why are you lumping yourself in with that crowd?
Yeah, that's the first one that they write about was your tailor's a predator, but I love it. It's as he's walking out of the elevator after the fitting.
Yeah, he clearly, he is he's not wrong. He slapped his ass a bunch of time and grabbed his junk during that fitting. So. Yeah.
But nothing about the tailor's sexuality, because the tailor could be doing it to women.
There's nothing. Too. Nothing was mentioned about the tailor's sexuality. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. But they equate predator to be gay or whatever.
Gay. Yeah, that was their line of thinking, basically. Second one is not all of you was asleep. Okay, yeah, Deadpool had a hard on. Deadpool has always been fluid in his sexuality. When they're tied together. and Deadpool wakes up in the cage after being caught by Pyro. And
I can't read it.
maybe zoom in. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Not all of you was
Yeah. The kind of sexual tension the characters have throughout the entirety of the film. Yeah, there's a reading sexual tension between these two characters where there is none.
But that's the joke, though.
I know. I'm saying it's a joke, basically.
Yeah, like that's the joke. I mean, look at the character of Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
He's doing it to make Wolverine uncomfortable. That's why he's doing it to him. So that's the joke. It's so stupid.
Yeah, because he goes, "How long was I asleep?" And it's like, not all of you was asleep. It was basically uncomfortable for Logan on that ride because of that fact. They're tied together, and Logan can't do anything. He can't do anything to separate himself from Deadpool. So that's the joke.
This moment is an example of
Kind of sexual tension.
The kind of sexual tension the characters have throughout the entirety of this film.
Yeah. Like I said, Deadpool has always been like fluid in his sexuality, basically. There's nothing to do with the character, and he'll make jokes about it. All right. So, but they consider it sexual tension between the two characters. That one moment, that's obviously done in humor. Getting my knife out of your buttocks.
This is why we don't have comedies anymore, because they don't have a sense of humor anymore. They can't take a joke without being offended.
No.
This is why we don't there's no comedies being made right now. I mean, look at this. It's clearly a joke. It's meant to laugh. And I'm sure that while they were watching this movie, the crowds around them were laughing, and they're sitting in their chairs stewing like, oh, yeah, why are they laughing at this stuff? This is why we can't have comedy anymore. You're too easily offended. You're so sensitive. It's so ridiculous. It's meant to be a joke. It's meant to be a comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's not like this is a movie. A movie. Yeah. It's not like this is based on true events or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is a Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yes, and like this scene here where again, Deadpool is doing this basically to make Logan uncomfortable. Like when they are escaping Cassandra, and they're kind of crash onto the ground, they're rolling on top, where Deadpool ends up on top of Logan, and he goes, what's she thinking about? And almost done. So he's doing that to make Logan very uncomfortable. Like, Deadpool always cracks sexual jokes, basically. He always cracks those types of jokes. And then, when he sees Logan freaking out, then he goes, "Oh, I'm just getting my knife out of your buttocks." And he calls Logan a pervert. All right, he does that. That's part of the character. He's the merc with the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the whole element to his character. Take Wolverine stick out of your mouth. I'm like, yeah, that's like when Kid Pool says that to Deadpool. Okay, that's a joke. That's obviously done as a joke.
Yeah. It's a Deadpool. It's another Deadpool character.
Yeah, and it's like this is one of the film's smaller jokes, but after we sat through a dozen similar tiny jokes where the punchline is sucking dick or receiving anal sex is bad, we were worn down. Really? They, I guess, did not like the pegging joke earlier in the film. Yeah, they do. They get offended. And they must not have liked the pegging joke earlier in the film, again, as a joke, because he's basically directing it towards Disney. Like, where he says, where he talks about how he's familiar with pegging, he's used to pegging, but Disney isn't, and he winks at the screen, he breaks the fourth wall kind of thing.
Yeah, well, because is it the first movie he gets pegged?
I know, I'm saying it's it's a reference back to the first movie, but it's done as a joke because now Disney's bought it, and he's like, I know what Disney isn't, and he winks at literally at the fucking screen, at the camera, at the audience. He says it as a joke, and then when Kidpool says it, it's more of a again, when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's stick out of your mouth. He's saying it to I don't want your opinion. I don't care what you say. And he says with a sexual bent to it. But
These
not a
people take themselves way too seriously, thinking like, they're just making fun of my sexuality. Well, you know what? When you make your sexuality like the only thing about you, then you're gonna get insulted easily. You're gonna
Yeah.
become way too sensitive when like that's the only thing that you've built your entire life around.
basically entire personality, entire existence
Yeah.
around the fact that you're gay. No one cares. You know, like basically the gay movement was like basically for people not to care about the fact people were gay. Now when we say we don't care, why don't you care that I'm gay?
Why don't you care that I'm gay?
Like, motherfucker, make up your mind.
Yeah.
And the last one that they had a problem with is that's what Scoutmaster Kevin used to say. Again, a joke that also goes back to the second movie at the very least about Scoutmaster Kevin. Like, did you fucking miss that in the second movie? Again, as a joke, basically. Do you have to
I like how they write at the end, Deadpool replies to the laughter of audiences.
Yes.
How dare the audience laugh at this joke?
This is the perfect example of like it's so wrong but so funny at the same time. I'm like, did you miss that in the second movie? He literally references Scoutmaster Kevin. I rewatched.
But not only that, they're insulted that the joke is made about a pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you insulted?
Yeah. Yes.
Because that's where the joke is, right? It's alluding
it's
to the fact that this adult man took advantage of this kid. Like that is.
And then you
what
take
the
that
joke
as
is.
homophobic. Basically.
And he's making a joke out of it because he is like, makes humor out of terrible situations, right? Like he just.
Yeah, remember in the first one when he and what's her fucking
So why are you upset?
What is his love's interest name? I'm fucking blanking.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. When he and Vanessa are going back and forth about how terrible the childhoods are.
Yeah.
It's kind of done in humor, but again, like humor, like they derive the humor from their terrible situations.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing here. That's exactly what he's doing here. And again, I rewatched the second movie recently. I rewatched the first movie and I rewatched the second movie recently. All right. And there's literally a Scoutmaster Kevin joke in the second movie. I'm like, did you fucking miss that?
They probably didn't watch them. They didn't watch the first two. If they had watched the first two, they wouldn't be so insulted with this one.
Oh my God, gravy. Scoutmaster Kevin. Yeah, like I saw this article.
I just think it's funny that they're so insulted by that.
Yeah.
They're like, how dare you insult a minor attracted person?
Yeah, I'm saying like Double Hawk is very telling that they get upset about jokes about predators.
Yes.
And
PDFs, yes.
It's very telling that they got upset about those jokes. When everyone else is laughing and they know it's a joke, they clutch their pearls.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a clip for that?
Did you finally do a pearl clutching clip?
I need to. I gotta find a good clip. But here, how about this?
Gay.
No, they just finding things to get upset about.
I know.
Yeah, when you take yourself too seriously, you can't find humor in anything, and you're just looking. These people are looking to be insulted by something. They can't even be entertained without looking for something to be offended by. Which is why comedies aren't made anymore. There's no good comedies, really.
No, because they're so worried about offending the wrong people and getting canceled.
Yeah, people can't take a joke anymore.
No.
People can't make fun of themselves anymore. Everybody takes themselves way too seriously. Everybody thinks that they're like the main character in their personal movie that is life.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like there's a joke here. He died a hero. He died from murder.
I love that.
You really are God's perfect idiot.
Died from murder, you dumb fuck. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I saw that and I was like, like again, I don't like if you don't like the movie, but you have objective reasons why you don't like the movie, that's fine. All right, like I don't expect people to like the same things I like or anything like that. But to demand your money back because you don't like the fact that Jesus is referenced in a joking manner in Deadpool and Wolverine, contained joking manner, I might point out because it's directly directed towards the MCU. But then you get like your pearls in a twist because of apparently homophobic jokes, and two of them are very fucking telling when you're upset about the Predator joke and the PDFs. Very telling when you get upset about those jokes and you equate it to homophobia. And even Trey's like, should I get offended at black jokes now? Yeah. Hey, Tom Bombadil. But there it is. So that's what I had. So basically, yeah, you have Borderlands bombing at the box office. Made like about 10%, a little bit more than 10% of the budget in its opening weekend, and that's including overseas box office. While Deadpool and Wolverine is on course to hitting, if they haven't already, hitting the $1 billion mark in box office gross. Then you have the gender swapped Penguin with the retardation from Bruce Timm about what are we going to do with this character? Because there's a gimmick we can have with this character.
That is the gimmick.
You have Jenna Ortega kind of calling out political correctness in Hollywood, but she's like towing the line and so forth and all that. Alien Romulus is the next big release.
I'm going and seeing that.
So I saw another Alien Romulus trailer, and from what I can tell, they're not a space crew. They're kind of robbers, and they go to this seemingly abandoned. I don't know if I want to call it a ship necessarily, but basically but abandoned in space to ostensibly rob it, and they that's where they encounter what we know from the trailer.
Face huggers.
Yeah, face huggers.
It looks so scary.
Face huggers and xenomorphs.
It looks so scary.
The space station, I couldn't tell. I wasn't really paying attention to the trailer, just that they were robbers, basically. So and apparently they have a flashlight that you shine from the back. You can see light from the front, so they can see what's going on in the chest. I'm like,
ooh.
They have that technology between 1 and 2, but you don't see that technology in 1. Okay. But granted, Ripley was in space for 60 years, so it could happen.
I still have to go see that that movie Trap. I want to go see it.
Oh, Trey saw it.
I know. I want to see it for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like space scavengers, basically. It's an abandoned space station. They're going to rob it. I think I heard somewhere it's supposed to take place between 1 and 2. Which is why, timeline-wise, I don't want to say it works necessarily, but the fact that Ripley is gone for a long time, it could still effectively work. But at the same time, it's like they'd have to all die because the xenomorphs aren't rediscovered, so to speak, until what happens to where Newt is on that planet, and then they find Ripley decades later. Yeah, but anyway, that's what we had, ladies and gentlemen. So next week, but yeah, Terrifier 3 is coming out as well. So I'm not sure when Romulus takes place. That's the only thing I don't know, because I know decades pass from Alien to Aliens, because Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley, her daughter grows old and dies. So, but anyway, next week it'll be on Steph's channel.
Yeah, my channel next week.
Yeah.
So Twisters reached or passed. what is it? Cumulative worldwide gross 300 million milestone. So their budget was 155 million, so they still need to make more to even break even, but still.
What hit 300 million?
Twisters.
Twisters.
And Deadpool and Wolverine hit $1
So
billion.
basically, Twisters, a sequel to Twister, is doing leagues better than Borderlands.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because of Glenn Powell.
I told my chat, and my chat can confirm this. That would have been the only reason I would have seen that movie is because of Glenn Powell.
Did you not see it?
I did not see it yet. I've not had time. I barely had time to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I did see it twice, Deadpool and Wolverine twice, though. But Glenn Powell's the only reason why I would see Twisters.
Glenn Powell. Oh, Mike Hill says Twisters is on Prime Video this week. Boom.
Okay, then I'll have no excuse. Yes, no excuse.
You have to look at Glenn Powell.
Report back. Like that's going to be a chore. That's going to be such a chore.
And so look at Glenn Powell and report back to me.
Yes, okay? I'll take a picture of my face.
That's your homework. That's your homework for this week.
But yeah, let's definitely let everybody know where they can find you and any streams you have coming up, because I was not able to watch earlier because I was playing D&D, but I saw you were playing Chained Together.
I played Chained Together with Disbrew today. That was a lot of fun. So if you want to go back and watch that stream, you can. It's like 3 hours long, but it was a good time. We did fall a lot, but Disbrew was a really good sport. We had a lot of laughs together today. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? I think I am going to do a gaming stream tomorrow, and I have a stream. Makeup and media tomorrow morning or after daily. So that's what I have tomorrow. Tuesday, TikTok talks, and then Wednesday, no, not Wednesday, Thursday, I have nerdy news. So yeah. And then I think me and Disbrew are going to play Chain together at some point. Okay. And then Fortnite with J Hailstorm.
And I wouldn't say Henry Cavill is replaced, but Glenn Powell is definitely a heartthrob.
I was never a Henry Cavill simp.
No, I'm just saying that he hasn't been necessarily replaced. But like Glenn Powell is a heartthrob. I actually like Glenn Powell looks more than Henry Cavill. But anyway, for me this week, tomorrow and maybe Tuesday, depending on how close I am to finishing Gears of War 3, I'll be streaming Gears of War 3 on Kick and Twitch tomorrow at the very least. Maybe Tuesday, like I said, depending on how long it takes me, because I'm on Act 5, so I'm not sure how much more I have to go in the game. Wednesday is back on YouTube for the top 10, basically our subjective top 10 lists, where Steve and I go through our personal top 10, and we're doing top 10 our personal top 10 films of 1990. We finished the 80s. We're moving on to the 90s, so top 10 films of 1990. And Thursday and Friday, I'm not sure of what I'm going to do as far as streaming, because it kind of depends on my schedule. And Saturday, I don't know if I'll be playing, doing any like siblings type hangout with my brothers and sister again, because yesterday we played the Pacify game again, and had an interesting time where it took us 2 times to beat this one part, because my one brother, this is the situation, all right? It's basically in the dolls one, you have to use a regular doll to pacify the entity that's coming after you, the one that looks like Samara, the ring girl. All right, and you have to destroy the marked dolls. My one brother, who was shrunk to doll size, basically, because that's what she does to you. She shrinks you to doll size, is saying, "We have one more marked doll. I'm gonna go try to find it." And my other brother, who's a doctor, by the way, somehow didn't register the fact that we had one more doll after the doll he was holding. So he thought, "I'm holding the last doll. We got this. Let's go." So he burns his doll. It's not the last doll, and we all get fucked because we're all caught by her. And we have to all exit to find this last doll. and we all turned into dolls. And my brother was the one. Like, the one was so pissed off.
Oh no.
I'm like, he's like, how did you not register in your brain that I said we have one more doll to get? That's what it's like playing with my siblings. Yeah, but I want like to play with other people because these levels, I guess so to speak, they definitely, I would say, require more than one person because there's quite a bit to do when you're playing, when like you're like playing with these levels. So at some point, yeah, I will stream it, but it had to be when I can play with like at least 3 other people. Yeah, it does show how many you have left on the screen. That's why he was like, "How did you miss one doll left?"
Did you see this? I'm gonna share this real quick.
Okay.
This will be the final thing that I share. Ryan Reynolds posted this on Twitter. Said, one thing special effects makeup artists will tell you is to remove silicone appliances from your face slowly with an array of oil-based products to avoid irritation or injury. Never rip it off quickly or have your children tear your face apart with their sticky little child fingers like it's a Christmas present. If Christmas was about wondering how someone looks without eyelids.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, that looks like it hurts. He just rips it off. That's my favorite picture right there. Ouch.
Oh yeah, the only the only other thing I remember seeing, I guess like Channing Tatum was like trying to talk to Kevin Feige about doing a Gambit film. So we'll see. But yeah. Must be how Robert Englund felt, yeah. But there it is. Yeah, like Pacify is cheap. It's only $5 on Steam. It's been out for a couple years. So it's cheap. It's like an indie like basically an indie game. But it can be fun when you're playing with other people. So, but there it is. Yeah, and that's like our schedules moving forward this week, and I will let everybody know if I'm going to be streaming Thursday or Friday this week. If like once I know for sure if I'm doing anything with my siblings this weekend, and next week again it'll be on Steph's channel about the same time, 8:30 p.m. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world.
Raid. Let's who raid.
I don't know how to raid through.
Oh, I'll just put it in chat. Go check out Maxfield. He's live with Max's Man Cave.
Because I'm on the YouTube page. I don't know if I have to do it through YouTube Studio or something because I'm not seeing an option to raid.
Oh, to redirect?
To redirect, yeah. I'm not seeing an option for that on the streams page.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I put it in chat. So there's his link.
Okay, yeah, there's his link. So go check that out. Here it is. So, again. Oh, shut up, Dan. Whatever you think about Channing Tatum's performance as Gambit, he was leagues better than what we got in Wolverine Origins. So, I'll have to look it up because, like I said, I'm not seeing a redirect thing. Anyway. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, is that a Pink Ranger shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I still have it. It's in my closet.
So have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will see you all next week on Steph's channel. Peace.
Bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.